Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Transfer Talk. We're coming at you live from... well, it's night time here in Singapore. One of the best backdrops you'll ever see, but because of the reflection in the windows and all that lot, you can't really see it. But if you follow me on Instagram, you can see all the stories and all that sort of stuff. You'll see everything. This might be the most picturesque place in the world. It's absolutely banging. Bumped into David De Gea and Juan Mata in the lift today. That was fun. They recognised us at the same time we recognised them, so it was well funny. I did ask De Gea if he's going to sign the ting, and he just smiled at me and didn't answer. So I have no info on that one. But I did ask. I have to ask, don't I? After the amount of shit that I give him for wanting away. If he signs the thing, I'm right behind him. If he doesn't sign the thing, I'm not right behind him. Right, and so today we are going to be talking about Harry Maguire, Aubameyang, Longstaff, Dybala, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, and Lukaku. So let's get straight into it then. Harry Maguire. He's been claimed by Sky Sports reporter Damesh Seth that Harry Maguire is now prioritising a transfer to United over Manchester City because he prefers a move to Old Trafford because it seems like it's his most viable option. They also reported yesterday that Maguire does want to follow in the footsteps of both Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Matic, and he'd be honoured to play for Manchester United. I keep telling you guys, though, and you all keep going, he's a Sheffield United fan. I'm getting told that the guy might actually be a United fan, or at least his family are United fans, so I think there's probably something in that as well. Seth also adds to his report that things could have now changed with the move to City potentially not being on. Maguire is now seen United as the most viable option, given that they're the ones who seem to be pushing the hardest to seal the deal. Like I said, I told you I'd kind of heard a couple of things that United don't really want to pay 90 million. Kind of makes a lot of sense. And there's ongoing negotiations. But it does seem like he is someone that is definitely on United's radar. Definitely someone that United are pushing for. And you know what? Definitely someone that I think would be a cracking signing for Manchester United. And Seth also finishes the report with saying he's now made it clear that United wouldn't be such a bad thing after all. I think it's close. I think it's just going to be ongoing negotiations. And we'll see what happens with it. The one that I can't wrap my head around is Aubameyang. Is this real or not? Manchester United have made a £62 million bid for Arsenal striker Aubameyang, Italian reports are claiming. FC Internews, yeah, me either, have said United have approached Arsenal with an approach to sign the Gabonese international, and they reckon that £62 million is the offer, and that the Gunners will resist in order to keep their top scorer from last season. 36 appearances, 22 goals, 5 assists, 2.8 shots per game, 2.8 shots per game, 4.27 shots per goal, which would make him our second most lethal finisher behind Tony Marshall, who only took 3.9 shots per goal. Now, I do like Aubameyang, and he actually took to the Premier League a lot better than I thought he would. But I don't know, man. Is there something in this? Arsenal do seem to be skint, which always plays into it, doesn't it? Like, if Arsenal are hurting for money, and this is a way to free up money, especially for someone the age of Aubameyang, that might be a good move for them to move. And it does seem like, we're going to get to him in a sec, but it does seem like that Inter deal with Lukaku is all but done. Are United going to try and replace him? Are United going to Glazonomics this into a nobody signing? Are we going to just go with what we've got? Do we think Greenwood is enough? I don't really know. I think Aubameyang would be an interesting signing because he does fit the profile of being very, very fast and suited to a counter-attacking side. The age, coming from Arsenal, those are question marks that I have over him. Longstaff then. So Sean Longstaff has described the transfer interest from Manchester United as flattering, but he insists that his preparations for the new season are unaffected by United's pursuit of him. Speaking about the United interest for the first time, Longstaff said that his full focus is on returning to the pitch, having not played since March due to the knee injury. That's a big red flag for United trying to sign him as well, by the way. And he spoke to the Chronicle. He said, I just keep my head down. I'm trying to get fit. That's all I can focus on. And I'm still a Newcastle United player. I just want to get back on the pitch as soon as I can. That is what I'm looking forward to doing. I can't wait to get on the pitch and impress the new boss. As I said, I think there's something in Longstaff. There's something about him as a player, but I'm not sure there's enough to warrant. Look, 25 million, maybe take a punt on him. 50 million, That's absolutely ridiculous. That's the sort of territory that Bruno Fernandes is going. And if you prioritise someone like Longstaff over Fernandes, that's absolutely mental. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's Newcastle putting on a crazy transfer price on him and just basically saying, we don't want to sell him, lads. That's the case. That's the case. Do you know what? Let's get a bit of rum down me. The next one we're going to talk about then is Dybala. So United have reportedly opened talks again over a potential deal with Paulo Dybala at Juventus. United have been linked previously with him, but Gazzetta dello Sport's Nicolo Shearer claims that first contacts have only just taken place. He also says that Juve are demanding at least 80 million euros for the guy. This is a guy that they basically said that they're not interested in keeping as well. So saying you want 80 million euros for him is probably a little bit giddy, I reckon. It sounds like he'd prefer to stay put. In the Champions League last season, 10 appearances, 5 goals, 1 hat-trick, 88% pass completion, 4.2 shots per goal, which is very clinical, 104 minutes per goal, again, which is very good as well. I do like Dybala. I just don't know where he fits into this system. Is he a guy that takes over that Juan Mata role that we've seen in the last couple of games for United at the base, the tip of the diamond maybe, or in the middle of a 4-2-3-1? I could see that, to be honest. I could also see him linking up very well with a couple of the forwards that we've got. It just doesn't sound like that's a priority for United. If we've got 80 million to spend, if we've genuinely got 80 million to spend, Harry Maguire or another centre-half has to be the priority there. And then after that, I could make a very good case that a midfielder, an engine room midfielder, to go alongside what we've got would be the next priority before going to the forwards. Because I think between Greenwood, Rashford and Martial, I think you've got goals. And some people might go, that's not enough. And you might be right, and I might be wrong. But I think that might be enough. I think that might be enough, because I think Mason Greenwood's going to surprise a few people this season. The next one that we're going to talk about then is, of course, Bruno Fernandes. According to Ojogo, Sporting are waiting on United's offer, which could be a few hours away. It could also be not coming, couldn't it? It could be a few hours away. What does that even mean? My understanding from this one is, listen to what I'm saying, my understanding of this is that United are interested in Bruno Fernandes, but I think the wording was not as interested as the Portuguese press are making it out to be. So take from that whatever you will. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Clearly there's interest. I'm just wondering, if we do sell Lukaku and we don't go for an Aubameyang, what if we went for a Bruno Fernandes as just something totally different, to play a totally different system that we maybe haven't even seen right now? Because like I said, there might be enough. The boss might believe enough in Rashford, in Martial, in Mason, and even Sanchez, to be honest, because I think Sanchez can play down the middle. Maybe he believes in them guys enough that he goes, you know what, maybe we could do a little bit more of a playmaker, and maybe Bruno Fernandes is that guy. And maybe the reason that this has been stalled and stalled and stalled and stalled is waiting for the Lukaku deal to take place, which seems so obvious, doesn't it? I guess we'll find out in the coming days. But yeah, they're talking about Lukaku. So Conte has come in and said, and basically just put it right out there, aren't there? There's no hiding anything here. He said, I think frustrated is a big word. He's a Man United player. That's the reality. You know I like this player. I tried to bring him to Chelsea. Today, Lukaku is a United player. For sure, it's not easy to play without a striker at the beginning of the season. The market is still open. At this moment, we are talking about a player from another club. I consider him an important player for us to have a good improvement. At the same time, there is a market. We know very well our situation. There's also some talk that Lukaku left training today with Inter Milan officials. Ollie coming out in the press conference and saying that he's got a knock again. I'm sorry, Ollie, I don't buy that at all. I didn't buy it for the last 2 games. I definitely didn't buy it ahead of this game. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, Inter are said to be getting cold feet in the pursuit of Lukaku. This feels like last-minute little flurries that you always see with this sort of thing. Doubting whether he's worth the money that United are demanding and considering alternative, cheaper targets. I think he goes there. I think he gets them. Solskjaer in the report in the press conference this morning said, I don't have any updates from the last time I spoke to you, so yeah, I do expect him to be a United player next season. I think he's got to say things like that. And unlike Conte, who's come out and said, yeah, like Nainggolan, not really bothered about him, Icardi, not really bothered about him, you've screwed it now, because you can't demand a massive fee for them because you've already told people that you don't want them. So you've screwed it, haven't you? So Ollie's playing the game there, I think. I do have a little bit of an update. We don't have a screen for this guy. But Nishan Burkhardt was a young man that we brought over at 16 years of age from FC Zurich on the back of scoring an absolutely embarrassing number of goals for Zurich. Like, I think it was in the 60s range, something like that in one season. Brought him to United, looked very good. Mason Greenwood's overtaken him in the pecking order. But when we sign somebody like Dan James, and we've signed him primarily because he's so fast. Well, last season, Nishan Burkhardt was the fastest player in the whole club. Both his parents are Olympians. Like, he's clearly got fantastic genetics for running. I think his mother was a 200 or 400 metre sprinter. His dad was a 1500 metre runner. This is a kid that is an absolute athlete. Very much reminiscent of Michael Owen in terms of that. He's not going to beat you with loads of trickery like a Will Zaha or a Ryan Giggs, but in a straight line, you ain't catching him. Work rate's good, energy's good, speed is absolutely phenomenal, and he's got a really good finish on him, which is why the Michael Owen comparisons. He's obviously not broken through. He's obviously not been given the opportunity to break through. I don't know the reasons for that, but I heard earlier this week that he was going to be going to Germany, and then I heard from Nishan himself this morning that he's having his medical today at FC Freiburg, or SC Freiburg, ahead of possibly completing a deal tomorrow. So there's a little bit of exclusive news for you guys, I guess. I'm pretty disappointed to see him going because I really like Nishan, and I think there's a good career in there for him. I think Germany's a great move for him. I think he's joining their under-23s or their under-21s. He's only 19. But I do expect him to break into the first team there because he's a genuinely good player. And I think the Bundesliga suits what he's got. And I think it suits a lot of English players, actually, as you've seen with Sancho going out there. I think the raw pace that he's got is going to frighten a few defences. And I think by Christmas, you'll probably see the guy in the first team. To wrap it up then, we've got one more, which is Paul Pogba. According to Corriere dello Sport, Juve are reportedly willing to give United João Cancelo, Blaise Matuidi and Douglas Costa in exchange for Paul Pogba. In other news, I'm going to try and trade a Ford Fiesta and a Twix for a new Ferrari. Are you fucking mad, Juve? I wouldn't even answer the phone to that. If that was your offer, I wouldn't give you an answer. I would laugh and hang up. That's fucking ridiculous. Paul Pogba would be considered one of the top 5, definitely top 10 players in world football if he didn't play for Manchester United, who are currently a little bit on the shit side. This is absolutely ridiculous. You haven't got the 150 million in cash. Well, guess what? You don't get to buy Paul Pogba. Them's the breaks. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. Get any questions in for us as well, because we're probably going to do a Q&A on Sunday before we leave Singapore ahead of the match tomorrow. I can't wait to see what this place is going to be like, because so far it's been absolutely nuts with United fans. This tour has been phenomenal. And, you know, thanks to everyone who's come and said hi and took pictures and all that sort of stuff. Really do appreciate the support. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.